What's going on, everybody? My name is Kirby Downey.
I'm Jonny Harrison.
You're Joe. Johnny, your internet just like dropped right there.
Yep, they're doing work again today, so it's going to be fantastic.
A bit sketchy. How you doing, Joe?
Yep. Joe's good. Joe's recovering from a busy trip down your neck of the woods. But I'm doing good. How are you today, Kirby?
I'm all good. Good. Oh, my internet did a dip.
I was like, I don't think that one's mine this time. Starting off as we mean to go on, professional as ever.
That's interesting. My internet shouldn't be doing that. Anyway, we are doing episode 29. Where is the thing? I made an overlay like a professional. We are doing episode 29. We are wrapping up our magic wheelchair build. You guys look tired. I'm okay. I had a nice lie-in yesterday. Went to bed early on Saturday night. Johnny, what time did you get in on Saturday night?
About 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
You have a window open.
It was a hellish drive back. There was roadwork there. So it was great.
He's back.
I'm back. I'm going to do a switcheroo. Can you talk amongst yourself, Kirby?
No, I dropped out as well there. That was mostly me.
I hope so, because I was actually not doing too bad for a second.
my computer completely disconnected there off the internet. For some reason, it's like... Yes. Anyway, so you got in at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, 3 o'clock.
Imagine if our magic wheelchair build started off this sketchy.
No, I didn't. You know what? Our magic wheelchair build was pretty damn smooth.
It was pretty smooth. Let's start off with some housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
They've changed the layout of everything, so now I've got to actually like look for what it is.
You know, it's
Bing. Ching. What are they drinking? So what are you drinking, Johnny?
I today have just got a Copperberg cider. And I know we normally frown upon cider, Kirby, but I'm taking it easy.
Cider. Is that just because Michael had a ton of cider?
Pretty much. He left it in the van.
Yeah. On my desk, I've got the root beer going. I've got some Red Bull because we be doing bombs. No, we're not.
Sean says milk.
Is that what you're having, Sean?
No.
Tonight, I thought tonight's a bit special, so I'm going to have the single barrel.
Oh, nice. You've gone up market again, I see.
Yeah, it's that time again. Johnny, we've achieved something incredible, I think.
You think? I think so too.
I think so. Are you struggling to hear me, Johnny?
I think you're maybe a little quiet. What do the people in the chat think about our volumes today? Apart from the sketchy internet. Better. Could creep up a little bit.
Could creep up a little bit. I shouldn't be turning my audio up this much. I'm going to have to go into my settings. But Johnny, for those that have joined us and haven't really known what we've been up to the past couple of weeks, like why we didn't do an episode 2 weeks ago. Why don't you fill them in?
We didn't do an episode because we have been building a magic wheelchair, haven't we, Kirby? The second one we've done now.
Yes, we have.
First one was Star Wars themed. This one was Ninjago Dragon themed. So we basically were contacted by Magic Wheelchair, who we've obviously worked with before, and they sort of said to us, look, we've got a space at this exhibition in 4 weeks' time, I think it was, which tied in perfectly with Slug Me, which is Solidworks' largest user group meeting ever. Or is it longest, Kirby? I always get them muddled up.
It started off as largest, but now it's longest.
See, there's the confusion. So now you know. I mean, we've got Eric in the chat. I'm sure he'll confirm it for us. He's one of the heroes of the weekend.
I'm just hearing myself back. Impact Props is in.
Yep. So yeah, we were asked to build another magic wheelchair, something we love to do. So we grabbed the opportunity with both hands.
Okay, that's better.
And
Okay, that's maybe a bit better. Testing. Testicles, 1, 2, 3. It's that time of night.
Lovely and PG.
So yes, we've done a magic wheelchair build. We've completed it. We had exactly 3.5 weeks from start to finish, which is insane. Most magic wheelchair builds take minimum 2 months.
Minimum 2 months.
Minimum. But yeah, like
another one of our crazy things.
So I was in the middle of a field at a festival when Magic Wheelchair sent me a text. I was holding a 4-pack of beer in this hand and a 4-pack of beer in this hand, waiting in queue to get into a silent disco. Pretty off my rocker. And that's when I get the text from Magic Wheelchair. Basically, Karen says GP wants to drive this one as well.
I saw that.
So yes, they got hold of me and they're like, you know, would you like to do a Magic Wheelchair build looking to release about the 20th of August? Like I said, 8 beers in total, standing with a bunch of strangers. Literally, I just turned around to the guy behind me and said, you hold these, you can have one if you want one. Just to get on the phone and just phone up Magic Wheelchair and just be like, yes, we're in. But then I realized that Slug Me was the same weekend and I was going to be doing a 3D printing presentation. I wasn't sure if it was going to be live or what the plan was. But that's when the cogs got really turning, Johnny.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, hang on. What if we reveal this at Slug Me? What if we show everybody our entire process and then the reveal at Slug Me? But the cogs kept turning there, as they always do, because I always just think. That's when I thought,
best.
Yeah, we thought, like, look, it's 2 of us. We've got a short amount of time already to build this, 2 months at that point. How can we get some help? And how can we get some really willing people and really cool people that are very talented to help us out? That's when we thought of Sean. Sean sitting there in the chat. He manages the champions of all around the world, the SolidWorks champions. If you're not a SolidWorks champion yet, you can register to be one. If you're a advocate for SolidWorks, enjoy using SolidWorks, posting about SolidWorks and talking about SolidWorks online and everywhere else, you can become a champion. So I thought, like, the champions program came out after the pandemic started. So this is the first time I thought, let's get all of the champions from the UK involved together to get involved with this build. So that's when we sent a shout out to Sean. So let's get these champions involved. Let's give them the opportunity to spread some magic as well, because we've done it before. It's a great feeling. It's a great thing to be a part of. So we thought we'll get more people involved.
Definitely helped.
It did help. So like, I'm going to ask you, Johnny, straight ahead. You know, what would you find the benefit with working with champions and that?
With our time scale, it meant we could actually focus on getting it done and sort of leave them to the creative processes. So the way we worked was Kirby was I don't know what you did, Kirby, I'll be honest. No, I'm just kidding. Kirby obviously lives down in London. We constructed it all up north near where I live. And I basically said, right, what do we actually need to make a magic wheelchair before we have a design? So we knew roughly what we were going to build. So I went and pulled out the old credit card and ordered everything I thought we'd need to pull it off. And guess what? We needed everything. So it was good.
You did order enough basic material to do 2 builds.
Hey, you got to be sure. The worst thing with us was doing it in 2 weekends. If we'd run out of something, that would have been like serious derailment.
You wouldn't believe like that. The fact that our biggest concern was that there is a polystyrene shortage currently in Europe due to Brexit. Thank you very much, Eric. But I like to share. I like to get other people involved in these kind of opportunities that we get, and that's Champions Program's perfect for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had the problem of we couldn't get polystyrene anywhere. We knew that the main body of this is going to be polystyrene. With that being said, that's why Jonny ordered so much, because that was the cheapest way to get polystyrene.
Yeah.
Because you paid stupid prices to get from Europe. Either you waited a month and paid no shipping, or you paid a stupid amount for shipping and you get it all within a couple of days.
Quantities. So I basically had to order a full pallet of polystyrene, which is like 2 meters high by like 1.5 meters square. That was the only way I could get all the polystyrene in Europe in the timescale we needed and get it delivered on time. So
you know what, Jonny?
Got some spare.
But you know what? The great thing is that gave me confidence, because
you knew if you made a mistake, there was plenty of spare there.
Never sculpted polystyrene as an organic shape before.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, it's just something I've never done. I've never done any 3D sculpture in physical form. So it did give me confidence just to go at it, and it turns out first time worked out perfectly well. I'm actually going to everything that we carved, sculpted, put together turned out really well. We had to think on our feet quite a lot of times on how we were going to get stuff done. Luckily, I had obviously a week off work at the start of it, which gave us a good jump on the sort of basic construction, how we were going to actually connect it to George, our kid's wheelchair. Without that week, we'd have probably been even tighter than we were on time. I mean, we were sticking pieces on still as George came around the corner, so it was incredibly tight, but we managed to do it. Yeah, we are soon going to be releasing the video of it. It was live streamed on SlugMe, the entire build process that we did. It was like a 30-minute thing, but SlugMe, if I'm not mistaken, have taken it down in order just to split it up into each hour to be much easier to consume. So they are going to be doing that. But once they've done that, then we'll release our video so everybody else can see that. Cam Smith, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us during SlugMe 6. You know what's interesting, and it's something I think it was Cam that mentioned it during SlugMe, that for everybody there, that was the first time that they had watched that entire video.
First time we'd watched it.
Well, I knew what was there, but
yeah, we knew what was there.
You've got 20. Yeah, you guys had 23 entire presentations that you knew what was going on, except for this one. And the whole deadline was that I had to cut and edit that video in basically a day, and then send it over to Solidworks and Kramer to polish it up and finish it off. So the day it was revealed and filmed 2 days before the actual event, so SlugMe 6.
Yeah,
so that was a lot of pressure. So because of that, I took over a lot of that side of things while Jonny took care of. He was our purchasing manager, and as any purchasing manager, it took him a whole day to order shirts. These shirts.
Dude, it didn't take me a whole day. It took me a whole day of broken up 5-minute pieces while waiting for glue and stuff to dry on a wheelchair. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just 12 hours of putting a shirt design together. But sure, I admit it took longer than it should have, but the tiredness was kicking in at that point.
So, I mean,
no, it worked well, Kirby, for us.
We put it together, and like Jonny and I are starting to think of ideas of how can we make the next one even more awesome. And I've always liked the idea of a community build.
Yeah.
We actually exceeded the limit for recording time that YouTube can handle for posting live stream playback. You know, I actually told Dan about that because Brandon did a 12-hour live stream that had cut off just before. And
12 hours.
I mentioned it to Dan. I was like, you know, YouTube has a limit. And you guys did, I think it was 25 hours in the end.
25 and a bit, I think it was, yeah.
25 hours, 24 minutes, and 8 seconds, to be exact. Don't ask me how I know that.
You can still see the video on the time. It just doesn't load.
Yeah. My man.
Nice.
So, a lot of times when people do these reveals, and you see a lot of Magic Wheelchair videos and that, you actually see the, you know, just the reveal, and that's about it. You actually don't get to see what goes into it. And I think that was part of the story that I really wanted to really portray, is that it's not really that difficult. You know, it's, you know, how we went from point A to point B. That was kind of part of the video that I produced. And I'm going to just skim through it now. If
It was a good video.
I was quite happy. Like, to be honest, I didn't do any of the music or anything like that. All the places with the music, I asked Kramer to do, because it was easy. You know, it'll be easier for them to use their own music library than for me to try and find some new copyright music. And cause any issues. That's always a tricky one. So we'll give if those who haven't seen it before, you'll get a little sneak peek. If I can find it. There's so many versions. Build video. Okay, let's share my screen.
Come on, Kirby. People are dying to see this, and you're dragging your feet.
Look at this inception.
Damn, this I don't like this. There's two of us.
I mean, like, this is the first time that we've actually filmed together, and we actually didn't do an episode.
Dude, look how dead I am.
We're a little bit.
It's a long weekend.
A Magic Wheelchair always starts with the meeting. This is George. And basically, he just told us he wants a Lego build. He wants a Lego skeleton dragon. And we expanded on that. We had plenty of meetings to discuss this. You know, obviously, I had to go and measure the wheelchair. Somewhere there is a clip. There we go. I measured the wheelchair. Made a CAD model of it. This was the first stage. Make the CAD model.
Then Kirby realized he'd messed the CAD model up.
I did not. I did not. I did a very quick one first. And then Adam made a really, really awesome X-shaped model.
Awesome dragon.
So this is one thing I want to touch on tonight is Solidworks for Maker is now out. And all the tools that we use for this Magic Wheelchair build is available in the 3D Maker edition. So I used Solidworks Desktop to build this actual wheelchair. And then Adam used X-Shape to take that model and actually, you know, push and pull a really awesome model of the dragon. So we had to be quite loose with this design. We couldn't make it an exact copy.
We just didn't have time to
have the time to
copy. We had to just get it over the line.
Yeah. So
it turned out well.
Johnny, do you remember how many days Adam had in X-Shape when he did this?
2 days.
2 days. This is 2 days in X-Shape.
2 days.
Which I think is absolutely mental. I mean, Adam, I knew he'll be a supernatural at this. He's got that kind of mentality. And he just produced something so awesome. Anyway, to the build. Come on, scrub it. There we go. So you can see most of this frame is just polystyrene. It's just PVC pipe.
PVC pipe.
You built that in your living room, didn't you, Johnny?
Built that in my living room in a couple of, probably a day and a half on my week off to make sure when Kirby came up, we had something to build around and we knew where we were going with it.
So how did you get the scaling right, though?
I took your wheelchair that you had in CAD, and I basically just sketched around it like a 3D sketch, just to get some rough dimensions down, and then I sort of just built off of there. So obviously, all the uprights you can see, not all of them were in, but I had sort of the basic width, heights, circumferences, and you sort of over the top loop size and stuff down. So then I sort of laid out one level on the floor and then just built up from there and sort of just referenced off the model the whole time.
Yeah, you never really made a full CAD model of it. I think that was down to just the timing.
The time, yeah.
So like we've said, when we were at this stage, we had 3 weeks till reveal. Very, very little time. I'm just trying to find a picture of your CAD model that you had sent me at one point in WhatsApp. How's your arm doing?
All right, yeah, it's getting there.
Do you want to explain what happened?
I had an unrelated accident to the project. So we were obviously building at my in one of the workshops at my work, because they were nice enough to basically say, look, you can build here whenever you want, whatever you need to do, just make sure you lock up when you're done and don't leave a mess, basically, which is awesome. So nice, easy place to build, every tool you'll ever need, plenty of storage to get pallets of polystyrene delivered to. And Kirby was there one Monday, wasn't he? And I came walking in with basically my arm hanging open. I was like, I'll see you next week. I'll see you next weekend, because I'm probably going to the hospital. I'll see you in a bit. But it's fine. It was all good. They pulled it back together, some staples in. We heal them up nicely. Yep.
There's your CAD model. So that's the model that Jonny took. So that's obviously my wheelchair. And this is, you could have used this in X shape as well on a tablet or something. But this allowed you to get your rough dimensions and figure out how we're going to connect it to the D hooks and what spacing we need.
Yeah, my main thing was we obviously used, so these wheelchairs have what's called a D hook at the front and the back, which is basically for strapping it down in a mobility van or sort of on public transport or whatever, so they can take the weight of the wheelchair at any one point. So we said we need to make sure we're building off of them. They're easy to clip onto. So the first thing I sort of did was sketch up a rough clip design to 3D print. Took Kirby's measurements in his CAD model, made a simple sort of frame of where them clips would be positioned, and then basically built connectors off of that to connect to our frame. So all I was really doing was sketching around the model Kirby had made to ensure that our side beams or the front beams wouldn't interfere with the wheels or George's controls. And the rest of it was sort of just made up as I went. So obviously you can see in that photo there's the 4 sort of points for the wheel mountings, and then you've got the sort of tail structure and the neck structure sticking out the front.
Yeah, that was there. So this was the PVC model you made, kind of referencing the 3 mounting points. So I made CAD models of the actual mounting points and 3D printed them. This was the Dragon before any EVA Warbler got put on.
Yep.
Is that Warbler? Yes, it is Warbler. Yeah, it is. This is I didn't even see it in the state. You had put the front and back panels on already.
All the black foam was nearly on when you pitched up, wasn't it? It was just the tail and the neck to still cover, and then the white to layer over.
And the worst hotel stay because of that freaking tile.
Yep, that ruined Kirby's life. I'm sure someone had done that just for people like me and you who will notice.
Probably. But so from there we had, the Warbler, which Jonny is working on here. Kind of difficult to work with. It's the first time we've worked with Warbler.
Yeah, I don't think we'd obviously bought the thickest you could buy, which was 10 mil thick. And it wasn't the easiest stuff to form, probably because of the thickness. I think a lot of cosplay people use that as a base to cut out, say, your basic profile of an axe and then build off with thinner pieces to heat
Yeah.
form and cut into. But because ours was so thick, it was good because it held some rigidity and kept its shape. But it was bad because it held its rigidity and kept its shape, and it wasn't easy to form or sort of contour. So we had to do some joints, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, the thinner, this is a thin, what was it, 5mm warbler that we overlaid on the top. And then
even that was difficult.
Yeah, and you can see it's kind of just panels and just cutting little wedges and putting them there. We kind of were lucky to get away with that kind of messy Bondo because we could texture it and make it look like damage and scars and that stuff. But tons of sanding happened. Tons and tons of sanding.
Yes, it was lucky we had one of our workshop apprentices who was willing to pitch in and learn some new techniques.
Exactly. But I mean, going back to the CAD model that we had produced, this one CAD model that I made helped you build the frame, helped Adam create his references and his X-shaped model. So it just kind of shows how, even if, a lot of companies do this kind of thing, but it shows that even makers can just work together using the same CAD model if everybody's got the Maker's Edition.
Yep. It did make it easy. It was a pleasure to use, I think, is the word. I didn't have a lot to do with the design of, Adam's model. Faddy did the wings, obviously, and stuff like that. But it was easy to open up whenever we needed to pull it up for a reference. It loaded nice and easily. There was no issues with it.
There was one issue I had. Instead of calling it sanding, calling it blending makes it fancy. I think one of the build weekends that we had that I needed the CAD model for reference, the X-shape model for reference. The platform was down for maintenance. So neither myself nor Adam could access it. Which is a bit.
We made it work.
It's okay. We carried on. We potted on and cracked on.
Yeah.
So one thing that we also had to do was fill the polystyrene with resins.
Cover the polystyrene with resins.
Same thing.
Not really. It was good. It was definitely worth doing. I'm glad that I pushed us to, make time to do that. So what covering the polystyrene in this epoxy resin does is make it have like a hard shelled surface. It's a lot more durable. It's easier to paint onto. It fills a lot of the bumps. And when we saw George driving it around, we were like, I'm glad we did that because it was taking some abuse.
It was. I mean, it's also to allow you to paint on it with spray pans and use Bondo on it, because luckily we tested this. If you just put normal body filler on polystyrene, it eats it.
Because it gets so hot when it cures.
Yeah.
We nearly learned that the hard way. I'm glad we checked.
Yeah. But this just allows us to, it just allowed us to actually really work with it nicely and sand it, and it was quite satisfying. Probably the most satisfying. I think there's a butt crack coming up soon. Like the amount of butt crack I had to edit out. What was I going to show? Oh yeah,
the resin, something satisfying. Oh yes, I love this resin. It's the best resin system I've ever used for this one reason.
So if anyone has actually used resin and that, usually it's very rare that a resin is a 1-to-1 mix. It's usually like one part of the big one and 13 parts. No, it's usually like 13 parts of the big one and 1 part of the little one.
Yeah,
it's usually like some
odd, is a common one, isn't it?
Yeah, 123. Which is, can get very, very difficult. But this is the cleanest system out there. So the idea is that all you do is you just pump once on the big one, and for every pump that you do on the big one, you do a pump on the little one, and that gives you an even amount, the correct ratio, perfect mix, and not a drop of resin was spilt.
It is Eric. See, Eric knows the crack. He's in on it.
It's that West System resin. Yes, it is.
It is West System.
I mean, you can see West System.
It's just No spillages. It's absolutely great.
It's the best resin system ever.
Any resin that I use from now on, if I can get it from them, I'm buying it.
It was an expensive attachment. I was trying to get cheeky with camera angles.
So the resin was pretty comparative price to everything else. You know, West System are a decent resin. They've never sort of failed me. The pumps, however, were £22.
That's not too bad.
Which
what
it seems expensive, but you know, the that resin was a 6 kilo set, so
you first the guy has a crush on. You know what? Fair play. That's an awesome pump system.
Yeah.
So we also had to do some electronics.
Yes, we did.
That was also part of it.
Some witchcraft.
The witchcraft. And that's where we had the help of Michael.
We did indeed. So Michael works at my work. He's one of our test technicians or engineers. I can't remember his proper title. Michael's a fairly quiet guy, but you know, you give him a task and he just cracks on with it and gets it done. And he's a neat freak perfectionist, so everything is done to the millimeter precision. He's an awesome guy, and he really pulled us out of the mire, probably.
The deep, yeah.
No, we wouldn't have got the wings done without Michael, I wouldn't think, due to time. You know, Michael was there pretty much every weekend. We were there for the long days. He did a lot of evenings with me as well, so we owe him a big thanks.
No, he really he smashed it out the park for us. He helped us out. Like, for example, just before the reveal, I was, you know, Jonny and I were setting up the wheelchair in the location that we had, while he was sitting in the van finalizing a lot of the electronics.
Yeah, on the outskirts of London, not dodgy at all.
So I'll see if I can find the video. But basically,
yeah,
picture this.
We rocked up to the reveal, didn't we, with no lights working, or like half the lights working. The sounds that we'd had working briefly, but the buttons needed wiring in. So like Michael had an hour to fix the lights, to get it to run off the power pack, fix the buttons for the sound, and he pulled it out the bag, working out the back of a transit van.
Yeah, but just look at this. You've got this fellow with a beard fiddling around with random electronics under a thing covered in bathroom towels. It was quite sketchy, but you know, it's the kind of thing that if someone had asked questions, we can tell them. And we had a couple of people asking questions like, "That's a really cool dragon. What's happening here?" And we spoke to them about it. And they were all fascinated about it. Like, for those that don't know, this is the first time Magic Wheelchair has done anything in the UK. No one knows about it. So we were kind of
but Michael, Michael really pulled it out for us, you know. Faddy obviously did his wing design, but unfortunately, due to time, we sort of had to crack on, and Michael pulled that out of the bag as well and came up with a design and pretty much made it work before we'd thought of a final design. Michael sort of said, "Look, this works. Let's roll with that." Yeah.
So at a push of a button, they fold out. Like, this is quite a common mechanism that cosplayers would use.
Yeah.
If you were to Google like cosplay wings, this is a mechanism that a lot of people use, and they'll put that in a backpack. Nice. You'll put that in the space of a backpack. I'm trying to rewind on the wrong screen. You put that in the space of a backpack, and the wings will fold out real nicely. Johnny's leg reveal.
My legs are looking good, Brandon. You know what, as well? They're like half waxed off all the super glue that got spilled down them during this.
You also dremeled your leg.
I did that, dude. That is really like dark. I dropped a Dremel and it went straight down my thigh.
Luckily, it didn't go too far.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad it spun down and not up.
I mean, this is us literally 10 minutes before George pitched up.
Gluing. So we left the segments that connected to George's wheelchair. Obviously, Kirby took the measurements on his own. I made the mock-up of the chair on its own. So we didn't want to sort of glue all of that in place and then find out it didn't fit. So the three connecting pieces we sort of left loose and then cut to final length literally 15 minutes before George turned up. So the family was nice enough to give us the wheelchair a little bit in advance so we could prepare. So that gave us a chance to make sure it was perfect. At least the connection part was perfect.
You're not a maker if you don't have battle scars. That's very true.
But
hang on. He's literally got staples in his arm.
Yeah, literally still got staples.
I didn't hurt myself in this build.
Somehow.
Yeah, does that mean I'm not a maker?
I think you're a maker. You maybe just had the safer parts of the build.
Also, whenever there was a knife involved, I took my utmost care.
Yeah, me and Michael, when we were like working on an evening, we had like 6 scalpels to use, and by the end of the night, all 6 would be out of the toolbox. And we're like, where have they gone? And then it turns out you're like sat an inch away from them. So, safety precautions were
make a chick dig scars.
Yeah, somewhat lax, but we made it.
So I mean,
I don't want to be here, Kirby. Just boot me out, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just cheers. Bye. But I mean, after 3 weeks of really working hard, putting a lot of effort into this, like I said, the champions pulled through, helped us out with all the little things that we found, would take a lot of time. Our focus was purely making it. And, your focus mostly on getting it started and finding a place and getting everything organized. Mine was to make sure that this kind of stuff
we had the footage we needed.
And shared. I mean, we're not trying to, like, a lot of Magic Wheelchair reveals will happen at Comic-Cons and that stuff, and some people think of it, we're taking advantage of, this type of situation. But Magic Wheelchair's philosophy is that kids are always the boss.
Yep.
The kid in the family, it's always their choice. If the kid does not feel comfortable in front of a crowd, they will not do the reveal there. They won't force the kid to do something he wouldn't like to do. So, for example, this family, the original plan was to release it at DesignerCon in London. But due to COVID and because of George's condition of SMA, he's considered vulnerable. So his family are very, looking after him and making sure he stays safe. And we had to follow those same rules. So for us, we did the reveal in his local park near him. So not a lot of people. It was all outdoors. We all took COVID tests beforehand. The family said they're okay with us not wearing masks because we're outdoors, but we were ready to wear masks and gloves.
Yeah, we had them on ready to go, didn't we? So, we wanted them to feel safe so they could enjoy the day without having to worry as little as you can at the minute.
Yeah, but we wanted this footage to tell the story and show how easy it is actually for a build team to just create magic. And then, we revealed it to George. He was super ecstatic. We used the dust sheet instead of actual Magic Wheelchair cover.
That was the one thing the purchasing manager forgot, wasn't it, until the morning of?
Yeah. Luckily, we went to B&Q and sorted that one out.
Yeah, we need some other bits.
So there were a couple of things that we wanted to add to this, such as a smoke machine. Some of the little switches didn't work in the end because we had run out of time. But it's definitely not something we're going to just be like, we didn't do it. Tough.
No.
These are features that we want to add to it. We want to keep building to this. One thing that Christine said to us was that don't see this reveal as your bottom line deadline. See it as, just when you reveal it, stay in contact with the family and George, and, make changes to it, go in and repair it and It's always a good thing to be able to stay in contact with the family and be able to keep working on it.
Yeah, I think we'd sort of said to them on the day, we want George to be able to use it for as long as he wants to. So if it needs repairs or George has to change a chair at any point, we'll come and alter it to suit. And yeah, we've always sort of said to them, we'll do our best for George into the future with it. If he wants to keep using it, we'll make sure it's usable for him.
This was terrifying, though.
Yeah, how nervous were you when he took it off road and started like spinning it around?
So that wheelchair can like turn 90 degrees on its footprint. So we were quite nervous because we tested it a little bit and like the whole frame just twisted and buckled. So we said to him, if you're going to go forward, just and make turn, just do quite wide turns. And the first thing he does is a 90
360 degree.
Just straight off the bat, just twisted it on the spot, and we just like, it's just going to crumble. It's going to fall apart.
And it didn't. My frame held up. I did good.
Except for the hinges.
The wing hinges. Look, dude. The wing hinges we've said we need to replace. They were temporary. They were what we could get hold of in the time.
It's definitely something that we can adapt
improve. Yeah.
Improve it. But yeah, it first started off in the slow mode, and then they just kicked it into high gear and just let him razz around the cricket field, destroying a cricket pitch.
The off-road ability of YGP wanted to take it for a spin. He was impressed.
I hope he was impressed. That means a lot that he actually saw it, and
yeah,
it's a really cool feeling to be a part of this and really kind of own it. It
was nice for us, wasn't it, dude? We enjoyed it.
Interesting. Luke Frost, yes. Great build. I watched the reveal on Slack Me and it was brilliant. I'm glad you thought it was brilliant. Yeah, just watching him just scoot around. He was eventually chasing his sister around with it, which was quite hilarious. Let's see if I can find some of that. He just has a great time in it. And I mean, like we spoke with the family saying that if we want to, if they want to go to Comic-Con with us, let us know. We'll come with, help him control the crowd in that. There was not a dry in the room at Waltham during that. You know what? I'm not going to lie. Watching it back, because I was actually driving while I was watching it. Because we left the convention hall at 5:45, 15 minutes before it aired. So I popped it on my dashboard just so I can listen, because I obviously knew what was happening, but I hadn't heard any of the music or anything like that. But the music that they put in,
perfect, wasn't it?
In this section here, kind of when George arrives, that's really where it kind of helps out, and it kind of shows how music is such an important part to a video. It really sets the mood. There was a lot of funny little tunes and that stuff, but this moment where he comes up and he's there, put him in his Team George t-shirt, it was a really sweet moment. It was really cool.
It was the best. I think it's probably, it is the best thing we've done as a double act.
I mean, we haven't done much. Although we did hallway hangouts. I felt like that was a fun.
Hallway hangouts was good. I loved hallway hangouts, mate. That was the best 3 days we'd spent apart, but together somewhat.
Fun fact: this build is now the reason why it is now the most time Jonny and I have ever spent together in the UK.
It is. It officially is. In the last 2.5 weeks, we've seen each other. What was it? No, I didn't see Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No, I didn't see Sunday. 3 days, and then 4 days the week before, and then 3 days the week before that. 10 days in the last month. Before that, it was 2 days. 3 if you count leaving for Nashville.
Yeah, it was first time we've actually, because Jonny and I met in the States and that. Yeah, it's the most time we've actually spent it. And the hallway hangouts, like every year, World is really a place that we get to hang out together, and we made the hallway hangouts a place that we can all hang out together. I'm sure Eric,
It's great.
you guys, there's a lovely photo of you, Heather, and the rest of the Slug Me guys having dinner. And I think Heather had said the first time seeing these people in person since February 2005. 2005. Heavens. 2020.
Messed that one up, dude. But
a little bit. So it was a nice, and I'm going to be quite honest here. You know, Slug Me was the first time that Solidworks have done something together, whether most of it is, you know, was virtual and that, but you had the small group together in the same room doing their thing, and you had 24 hours of insane presentations and insane content, which had an underlying theme of designing a car using the 3D Experience platform and SolidWorks. And to me, I feel like because it was community driven, because there was a story to it, I feel like this is the first time that you can actually really see that the community really got what the 3D Experience platform's about, and you know how you can collaborate on it. Because a lot of the, you know, the stuff that SolidWorks posts at World and that stuff, it feels very scripted, but this felt less scripted. This felt like a bunch of people hanging out making a cool supercar, just like this build was. It was a bunch of guys and Jade as well hanging out, a bunch of champions hanging out making a cool dragon for George.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
yeah, it was extremely rewarding for us. It was awesome to have people hanging out. It was awesome to get so many different SolidWorks users in the UK involved. And, you know, Michael has never used SolidWorks. Daniel, my apprentice, has never used SolidWorks, but they both want to learn about SolidWorks. And they've seen what people can create with it during this build. They want to learn how to do more stuff on builds like this. So SolidWorks is growing, and it's pulling people into it as it goes with all these cool projects that it's willing to be involved with.
Yeah, it really kind of brings everybody together as we're slowly coming back together. Like a year ago, this wouldn't have been able to be done because of restrictions and that, but as things are starting to lift up, people can start really going out and doing things. We can actually start doing these kind of things again. It needs to be as fast as a Tesla. You know, that's actually illegal. In the UK, if you have an electric scooter or thing or bike or chair that goes over, I think, 12.5 miles an hour, it needs to be registered, it needs to be licensed and taxed, and you have to have a valid driver's license to operate it. Fun fact there.
I don't know if anyone knows, but me and Kirby are also full of useless information. But
we are.
Honestly, we bring it out at the best moments. So 12.5 miles an hour is the wheelchair speed in the UK. If that comes up in a pub quiz, you can thank us.
I love that Jonny has an apprentice now.
I love it as well, Heather. It's the best thing in the world. Honestly, the best thing in the world. Any jobs that, you know, you might not be so keen on, you can be like, Daniel, how do you want to learn about this? No,
Hey, Todd, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Kirby recently sat in a meeting for speeding. Yes, I had to go to a speed awareness course because I got caught speeding. I'm now more aware of my speed. And Johnny,
Naughty, naughty.
you're not Johnny. You're not very aware of your speed. I learned that.
What do you mean? I obey speed laws.
Sure. In a Ford Ford Fiesta ST.
Yeah, I obey some speed laws.
Yeah, just because you go past the 50-mile-an-hour mark during a 50-mile-an-hour road doesn't mean you're doing the speed limit.
No, to be fair, 30s and 50s I'm very good with. Although, Kirby, what sort of road was it you got caught on?
That was doing 58 in a 50-mile-an-hour area.
See, that's just naughty. Unrestricted 70 roads, you know, a little bit over, fair enough. 30s and 50s, that's going to kill someone. We're all disappointed in you, mate.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
Todd just landed. What was it like actually flying again? Because I'm sure a lot of these the fellas that went off to Boston, that would have been awesome to go through.
Yes.
You know what, Johnny and I were saying, if you guys are going to be doing a Slug Me 7 48-hour length thing, we could reveal at Slug Me 7, or even
No. What me and
start the
Kirby
build.
said was, we're going to have the build planned out to start in 48 hours from start to finish. You know, you hit your Le Mans race 2 times or whatever, and we're going to smash out the build in 48 hours. Heard it here first.
Why do we
regret
do this
pitching
to ourselves?
I don't know, but we'll regret this. It's going to take a lot of beer, and my purchasing manager skills are going to have to be on point. There's no nipping to Screwfix or B&Q or the English Home Depot to grab something quickly, is there?
Maybe if we have an apprentice.
Ironically, we do send Daniel out for lunch some days.
Slug Me 7 wonders of the world. There's an idea.
That's a good one.
Because I mean, it could be that by then you can do presentations from those places.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're thinking big now.
I don't know if that's a little hint, you know, right there from Todd.
Or we're just brainstorming now.
Yeah, maybe.
We've roped ourselves into something bigger than we ever thought would be, and somehow we'll pull it off.
We always pull it off, Kirby. People put faith in us because somehow we make crazy things happen and come to life.
Yeah, we'll stay up till 2:00 in the morning, but 7:00 in the morning we'll be there, full faced. Find a wheelchair kiddo who wants to race a car, who wants a race car chair, and then we design it. And you made it.
We build it.
Wasn't 24 hours big enough? 24 hours wasn't long enough. See what I did there? So, Eric, there was a little Easter egg. I don't know if you actually saw, but there's a sticker on George's wheelchair that says GT Big Boy Racer. GT Boy Racer, not Big Boy.
You're not sharing your screen, dude, by the way.
Oh, right. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. On his wheelchair, GT Boy Racer.
I could see you moving your cursor on your screen in the small preview, just not on the actual screen. That's why it took me a few seconds. Yeah, GT Boy Racer.
GT Boy Racer. So there was a racing theme in the wheelchair.
There you go.
Genius. But you know what? It has, watching Jason working in X shape, watching Adam work in X shape. I want to do a whole bunch of stuff in X shape now. I just want to, like you said, pull a potato around for a couple of hours until it comes to something.
That analogy needs to be put somewhere because that was brilliant. You know, I said to Adam, like, you start in X shape or whatever, and you literally pull a potato around for an hour or two, and then it starts to make some sense, and you go, actually, this is useful. But then first 2 hours, it's just like a spud.
Well, here's the potato that Adam started pushing around.
Yep.
Literally a potato. Absolute madness. It's really, really cool what he managed to achieve in 2 days. insane. But it does make me want to make something in it. It does make me want to, really push the limits. And also, we don't want to see the lawnmower much anymore.
That lawnmower is getting wheeled. If that gets wheeled out next year, I swear.
We can make that wheelbarrow in 3 weeks. Lawnmower.
Wheelbarrow in 3 weeks. We'll make a lawnmower in 3 weeks. Yeah, I don't mind the lawnmower, but it was all right first time round. Let's leave it at that.
Pull a potato sounds naughty. Is it naughty, Johnny? Is it?
Could be. You could pull a potato, make it into some fries, chips, and that would be some naughty scran.
Still waiting to see your finished soundboards. Johnny's actually got his one now. I've got mine.
Yeah. Kirby delivered it a month and a half late, but I've now got it.
Literally in person.
Yeah. It's so much so I'd forgotten what I was actually receiving. I was like, what's this?
Yeah, we've still got to do the soundboard. I mean, I've got my sounds on my keyboard, but they don't play through my sound system, so I could, press the button. It's making a noise, but you're not going to hear it. Unless I do like a virtual screen. That's kind of weird. Very, very roundabout way of actually doing that.
Sorry, I got distracted. I was reading some of the DriveWorks blog on us. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but one of my quotes is, "We felt like we really made our mark this year at 3D Experience World 2021 and look forward to next year." Are you still looking forward to it, Kirby?
I am. I think we could do something really cool at World this year.
We definitely could do something really cool at World this year. We just need to get out there and hopefully everything pandemic-wise dies down enough.
Yeah. I think Slug Me 6 Speeder will make folks forget about that lawnmower. I think so. I think, you've got something there that will really inspire people. I mean, I kind of want to 3D print it. Just a little model.
Yeah.
Send it off to Jason and just be like, check this out.
That would be good. But I'm glad that Eric knows the lawnmower that we mean exactly without us having to explain further.
So basically, in Solidworks World 3D Experience World 2019, they showed this cool lawnmower that can drive itself, and how
the automatic lawnmower.
Yeah, how this team used the platform to collaborate and build it. We thought, oh, that's really cool. But they didn't bring out a lawnmower. I'm like, okay, cool. A year later, the same lawnmower gets shown. Do we get to see the actual lawnmower? No.
Nope.
It's still a dream. I expect by Atlanta, Jason to be rolling in his speedster.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a safe flight, Eric.
And they'll still be going, but the green lawnmower.
Catch your cats later. Yes.
Thanks, Eric.
We'll get the car body model file.
Nice.
That'll be cool. I can print it at work and make it a trophy for something. Can make it a trophy for the fellas that joined in for the entire thing. Because I know that there was, I think, 2 or 3 people that
helped Jason out a bit.
That in order to the slug. It showed every hour you could register on a survey with the code and you could win some vouchers. And the idea is that's a good way that Dassault and SolidWorks could track the analytics and see who's watching and all that stuff. But there were a handful of people that actually registered for every single hour and were there. Hey, Brad, how are you doing? Have you seen that Brad went on a really cool road trip around America?
4,000 miles, wasn't it?
That's redonkadonk. You know what? It had me looking at that. You had me Googling. Had me Googling some Harleys. I was looking at I think it was a Fat Boy. I was like this close to just being like, I can do this. I can afford this.
And then Sarah stepped into the room and you quickly
Yeah, she's just like,
cleared your history.
no,
Nice.
no.
No, but big up Brad, 4,000 miles. Nice.
Was that a journey just going somewhere, or did you have like a basic plan?
I think he had it planned out.
Just go ahead and buy one. It's not how marriage works.
He's trying to get you killed.
You know what? It's like I used to ride motorbikes back in South Africa. I don't think she'll have too much of a problem if I had one.
Just tell her it'll save you time in traffic on a morning because your traffic's
It would.
ridiculous.
It's not with Harley. It's wide. You can't cut the traffic.
No, just get yourself a little Vespa motor scooter, a little scooter thing.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was headed to Sturgis motorcycle rally, and then took the long way home. I never really did any long distance stuff on my motorbike because mine was just a little like 125, kind of like a delivery bike that I got when I was 17. And I had that till I was 23. Because when I was 19 and I got my car, I never really used my bike anymore because I was traveling to university and I was always carrying stuff. I cut traffic all the time, and mine is huge. You know what? You always hear a Harley coming through the traffic and they rev.
Yep.
Harley Davidson Sportster. You know what? There was a Harley Davidson just across the river, a Harley Davidson store. And the one week that I actually wanted to go check it out, they were closed, like properly closed down.
You know what, Kirby? I have the email address for the dealership manager of the one in Edinburgh. Randomly.
Why do you have that?
He wanted some Star Wars characters one week, so I organized it for him. Amazing, isn't it? The world that we live in.
That's really. I mean, you always find interesting. I mean, when we're at DesignerCon this weekend, I actually met a SolidWorks user, someone who's certified in SolidWorks, and he was blown away by what we did. Him and his buddy do like hard surface designing using ZBrush and that, but he is certified in SolidWorks. Those are always the interesting conversations. I mean, when I met Brad Thompson from Impact Props, when I first started chatting to him and being like, "Hey, I see you close to Dallas. You should come and check. You should come to World." We're getting a bunch of makers together. It's like, "Oh wow, yeah, I use SolidWorks every day." I was like, "You do?" It's like that old saying of SolidWorks is everywhere. You weren't around that time, Johnny.
I've seen the video.
Hashtag SolidWorks is everywhere. And that's when I started doing, when I was doing my kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. And I was speaking to the head of department of the product design department. He was telling me that basically design is everywhere. Like everything that you hold and use every single day is designed by someone or a team of people. And from there, I started to learn that, most of the time this is designed and built in SolidWorks or some sort of CAD software. So, I mean, it's not wrong, when you need to explain to a kid that, what is SolidWorks? And what is CAD? What is design? And you just explain to them that, like, you see this flash drive, even though it says SolidWorks. This was designed by someone. This was created by someone. They got the specs for the USB chip, and they designed the casing and the mechanism and everything like that. And that was probably done in SolidWorks.
I would hope so, considering it's SolidWorks branded.
That would be a good question to ask. Because I mean, this is like a standard branded USB stick that you see everywhere. I've had tons of these type of USB sticks. I don't even think there's anything on there. It's the magic wheelchair wheels that's on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything is designed by someone and in some sort of design software.
It is indeed.
So it is everywhere.
Yes. But Kirby, there is one thing we've not yet done, which I know Brandon always hates us for.
What?
We haven't asked anyone to like or subscribe yet.
You know what? I blame him. I blame Brandon because he hasn't reminded us.
Yeah, that's his job. He couldn't even get in first today. He's really slipping. He's been a guest already on the show. I think he's lost an interest.
Yeah, he's reached peak enjoyment,
And he's
he's
dropping off the other side. But as Brandon always says, please do like and subscribe
if you haven't already.
Yeah, which we hope you have.
It always helps us out. Also, like the video. Even just
Yes.
disliking the video will give us some sort of analytics. And basically, any interaction with our video gets us some sort of interaction and some sort of boost.
Nice.
I think.
It's been good chatting, Kirby, tonight. It's been nice to round out that project. Nice to see so many positive comments in the chat and
you don't have COVID up.
Feels. Are you coughing or crying? I couldn't tell.
A bit of both.
Thought you were getting emotional.
Yeah. Have you also your chest also a bit meh?
Nah, I'm spot on.
Yeah.
I'm like an ox, remember?
Sorry?
It takes a lot to kill me. Yeah, Michael said he was feeling a little bit rough, but not COVID. We're all good.
Yeah. I think I did another test on Saturday. Sarah did one yesterday just to be double sure.
Yeah.
They have a changing whims of the YouTube algorithm. You know what? I see why Brandon don't care no more, and we'll get into that in a minute. Yes, YouTube's algorithm always changes in the way that you work with it, and you have to just bend and play with it. But Brandon has overtaken us, and that's why he don't care about us no more. I see how it is. What is he at now?
I don't know if it's one I'm going to unsubscribe.
Brandon did a really cool live stream recently, a 12-hour live stream, raising money for the SPCA in South Africa. So SPCA is just like your RSPCA. It's like the government-run and funded animal shelter in South Africa. Basically, excuse me. I'm sure a lot of those have seen in the news that South Africa had their riots and whatnot, but this specific SPCA was hit by those riots. They stole everything, the food, the blankets, all the veterinary supplies, everything like that. So Brandon helped them to raise some money for the SPCA. I'm just going to do a quick conversion to our American friends. He raised just over 11,000 Rand.
Ooh, he has overtaken us a lot.
$720 in 24 hours. And challenge was every goal he hit, he would eat a really hot pack of noodles. So, Johnny, should we eat hot noodles?
I would eat some noodles right now. I'm quite hungry. So, yeah, let's figure something out.
So, yeah, we should do some, I want to do another kind of charity thing. I want us to eat hot noodles, and I want to do jumping jacks for every $1.
Let's keep that until we're in person together again.
Thank you very much, Todd. Awesome for you to come and hang out for a little bit. Also, well done on Slug Me 6. Really awesome. What were you saying? Sorry, Johnny.
Let's save any sort of physical exercise until we're in the same room again. That way we can suffer together.
No. It will be when we're in person together. See, my plan is to 3D print and make a coin that says Johnny and Kirby on either side. And when that donation comes in, we flick the coin, and whoever it lands on has to do the jumping jack.
I'll design the coin.
So you can load it on the one side.
No, it's two-headed.
Two-headed.
You and you.
I mean, aren't coins two-headed already?
No, one's heads, one's tails.
Same thing.
No, it's not.
Who's going to be the head? Who's going to be the tail?
You're going to be both. We'll figure it out, dude. You know I'm game for it.
Figure it out.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm actually craving a curry.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said noodles now. You see, you got me thinking.
Well, like that. So we had Chinese together.
Oh, you like that Chinese?
When the food eventually arrived.
Yeah, that wasn't great. They did mess you up.
Yeah, because like that's how they get you. You have your little bit of food here, and then they just leave you for a long period, and then just like food. And then they charge.
I was fine
you
because I had my food.
Yeah, you just sitting there waiting.
Yep.
That wasn't too bad.
That was nice. We had some good food. We've had some good times the last few weeks, and a good project completed. It's gone down very well.
No, it's very good. You know, what always happens during a magic wheelchair build is that you spend so much time with it, hating it. Not really hating it, but anybody that creates and makes something, you always know that you spend so much time up close with something that you become blind to the overall project. You always see the little defects and the problems that you couldn't complete or finish very well. But when we finally got to reveal it and release it, and everybody's reaction just kind of allows you to just sit back and be like, okay, maybe we actually did something really good here. So leading up to that, you're seeing all the defaults and you're thinking this is going to fail. This is not going to be good. But pushing through to the end.
Do you remember when I put the first bit of dirty wash, the dirty wash to make it look weathered on? Like,
you sounded like you were going to cry.
I was so used to seeing it crystal white, and then all of a sudden it had this brown, grey dirt on the front of it, and I ran Kirby. I was like, I don't think we should do it. I think we should leave it white. And you just pushed me there to go on.
Yeah, I said to you, like, we have to keep going with it, because that's the thing about weathering, is that if everything looks pristine and this one little area looks nasty, it's not as, it really kind of looks like you've made a mistake, but you got to kind of push through with it. Yeah, because all you did was this little section.
Yeah, I did that, and I was like, oh no, I'm not sure.
Like I told you, just keep pushing, and it'll start to work out.
Yeah, we did. We got through it.
But yeah, it's those rows. You kind of so engrossed in it that you think like it's not looking good. It's not going to be done well. Kids not going to enjoy it. Family's not going to like it. But when you actually do the reveal, you see the smile on the kid's face. You see the family happy, everybody having a good time. That's when you step back and, like Brandon says, gives you a fresh look at it. You're like, all right, we actually did all right. That's when the bug hits you. That's when it hits you hard. That's when that bug just whispers in your ear and just be like, do it again.
Do another one. That's what we gave it to George, and they were like, oh, is this it then? Are you like, you finished then? And I was like, no, we can do some more. We'll definitely do some more in the future.
Yeah. So we want to figure out a way that we can give ourselves some more time, number one. And number two, come up with something cool. We want to do something hard surface this time, something like a spaceship.
Yeah. Something we're more accustomed to.
Yes. It was a good challenge there.
Nice. Yeah, it was. Think we've nearly wrapped up our magic wheelchair segment.
Yeah, I think this is a good point to kind of close it off. Very soon, there will be a video on this channel here of the actual full reveal build video and that. But we spoke quite a bit about the Maker Edition, which is basically a Maker version of Solidworks, where you get desktop Solidworks, which is what I use to create the base model of the wheelchair X shape, which is a desktop similar version to SolidWorks, not as powerful, but you can start to make your basic models in there, as well as X-Shape, which is a subdivisional modeler. That's where we created the. That's when Adam created a lot of the organic builds that we use to kind of inspire our build off. If you head off into our description, there is a link down there, solidworks.com/friends of champions, and that will get you 20% off the Maker Edition. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I mean, it's already dirt cheap, $10 a month.
Yeah, it's so cheap already.
You're going to be getting it for $8 a month if you use that voucher code.
Tell you what else there is in our description, Kirby, that we haven't mentioned in a few weeks. Our merch collection.
You know what I was thinking? And I think you can maybe put this together easily because you have all the assets. Is putting this available for purchase in our store and any sale from that specific shirt. Magic Wheelchair.
Put some to charity, yeah.
Also, if you'd like to donate to Magic Wheelchair, there is a link down below. There's a classy link for Team George if anyone wants to donate money for Magic Wheelchair.
Yes.
Whether it's $1 or 10, that's always really appreciated.
Definitely.
We'll be pushing that link out a bit more. So
the next week or two.
Yeah, definitely with the video and that. We'll probably have to re-record our intros for that. But we'll figure that out. We shall figure that out. What are we going to do next, Johnny, in our next episode? If you have any thought?
You know, I did have a thought, but time zones may scupper it. I thought, depending on people's availability, we could get the Slug Me guys on.
I'm sure we can make that work.
You know, Eric, Todd, and Cam. Get the band back together.
Get the band back together and we can chat about Slug Me.
Chat about the Slug Me event, their reaction to the wheelchair. Obviously, by then we'll have our new design shirts, like Curly says, available for purchase.
Yeah, it's Team George.
Yep. Graphic by Jade.
By Jay Crompton, another Solidworks champion.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll put that up there as well. I think that's a good place to.
In the back, then.
Sorry?
Show people model. All right, that'll do. We're losing viewers. Come back. Nice. If they weren't scared before of us, they are now.
I'm gonna have to crop that. Cut that.
Cool.
Like we said, if you haven't liked, yes, Johnny.
I was about to say, like and subscribe, and now it's time for you to mess up our socials.
Yeah. Like Johnny said, if you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. It does help us out a lot.
Yes.
Messing up the socials. That's my job.
Da-da-da.
How do I?
You had a couple of weeks break now as well, so
I know I have. Are you still there?
Yes.
Your face froze for a bit. So
sorry, back now.
Sure. If you want to follow me, I am at KJ Designs 365 on everything.
If you want to follow me, it's at Castle Run Creations, or just search my name and you'll find my others.
If you want to follow us on Instagram, we are at The Core Podcast on Contact. Facebook, we are at The Core Podcast with O's 0. On Twitter, we are at _Core Podcast. Here on YouTube, we are The Core Podcast.
Nice.
We just kind of done it. He nailed it. I'm going to start giving you that job and give you the pressure of it.
I'll be fine. I'll manage.
Yeah, I forgot to add
George.
That.
Nice.
Team George.
Love it. Brandon says that you have at least one fan in your room behind you.
One fan in this room.
Ta-da.
It's my biggest fan. It's not a metal fan though. So I don't get along with him.
Well, it's been a good hour and a bit.
It has been good catching up.
Yes. Good
Yeah.
seeing everyone in the
Glad-
chat again.
Yeah, glad I don't have to look at you anymore.
I know. I get a nice 2-week break. You love me.
Yeah,
Really.
I've seen you way too much. Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to just a week a year.
Yeah, that was a good thing. Why did we stop doing that?
We used to have our like Heathrow Airport reunion, didn't we?
That was the best. Now it's just gonna suck. I feel that guy again.
You've already invited me down again, don't you lie?
I'll see you in October though.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Cool. Well.
Oakley dokily.
Bye-bye for now.
Thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.